Sometimes being a Kenyan can be very depressing. I want to focus on Eldoret, hitherto the home of champions. But now as it emerges, Eldoret is a place you find children of a lesser God. So depressing. On the onset, I must say this, and I've said it repeatedly. We are inviting a revolution in this country. We are treating Mwananchi in this country like complete trash. We have clearly demonstrated that jail and the law and the courts are meant for Mwananchi. That there are people in this country for who the law doesn't apply. From the home of champions to the home of children of a lesser God. How do you explain a situation where a county government, under the leadership of a county governor, collects money in excess of $1 billion, money from ordinary folk, because none of the affected is a minister's daughter or son. None of the affected in Eldoret is the daughter of a member of parliament. Least of all of a governor or a senator. These are ordinary families in Uasin and the Elgeyo Marakwet. Families that have sold land in a scheme sold to them by the men they trusted, the men they elected into office to run their county of Uasin Gishu. These men elected to run the county of Uasin Gishu sell an idea to the people who elected them, most of them ordinary poor people, that will make it possible for your sons and daughters to travel overseas to Canada and Finland for further studies. The poor men and women in the county sell their land, sell their animals, cows and goats, go into their savings, sell their produce from the farm. Some sold their tractor to see that girl go to Canada for education. As it turns out, it was a scheme. And as we speak today, listening to parents and students narrate their ordeal of how they raised the money and how their dreams have been shattered, can send you into depression. But that is not even serious. The more serious part of this saga of fleecing ordinary men and women is about reaction from the government. The president has given this thing token attention. More annoying is that Mandago and the other co-accused are arrested in courts and quickly processed to appear before court the following day. Outside the drama, other than the drama, nothing would come out of this game. They are given bail terms which an ordinary person cannot be given. I was trying to have somebody released in a case of fraud involving about 900,000. The police woman dealing with this case told me the bail will be about 500,000 shillings. But that if the magistrate woke up well, if she slept well, she could make it to 300,000. So how do you explain a situation where somebody is accused of fraud of 1 billion shillings and they are given cash bail of 2 million shillings? Is it 500,000? Whatever it is. Something somebody can go to their pocket and just give. And back to business. What kind of country are we creating? As parents in our Siningishu cry, as their children go into depression, the men accused have very kindergarten bail terms. I am not blaming the courts. But perhaps they are in the law. But I'm talking about the feeling, the sort of society we think we are creating. I want to warn the leadership of this country. I want to warn the rich people in this society that this is not sustainable. That you have children who have been fleeced, parents who have sold land and animals, cows, given the county government their only savings. Some taken painful loans. And then we are treating the matter so casually. So casually. From the same home of champions, now a home of children of a lesser God, because that's what Eldoret has become. A county and a town mahali watu wanakula sherehe kabisa. There's almost nowhere in this country today, no town where watu wanakula sherehe, kuchapa sherehe kama Eldoret. The upper middle class, the rich, and the wannabes. As if nothing has happened. In the same town and county of Eldoret, or Singishu. Some lady, I don't even know her, but the story is like fiction. That you've collected money from people, ostensibly to give them jobs outside this country. The people are crying. They have been fleeced. Heart-rending narration from a lady who says she took a loan of 430 or something like that. A hawker, paying through the nose, denying herself food, sleeping hungry, to pay a loan she took to give to a lady with an office in town, enjoying her life, free. That money has not produced the jobs. The government again is mum, nothing. And when finally, because I saw this case went before Senate, I had to switch off my TV. What is Senate doing with a case like this? What are they trying to find out? Of a person who has collected money from people, poor people. What are the stories about? What is Senate listening to? People like this must be dealt with. And it's in the interest of the rich and the powerful in this country. Because we now have a country where a person takes a gun in broad daylight, in view of hundreds of people, shoots somebody's son, tap, dead. And in the same week or thereabouts, that person is in parliament, taking oath of office. You are laughing with danger. We have members of parliament slapping Kenyans, drawing guns, not in Kitengela, not in Nakuru. Poor people must coil and engineer somebody's son who went to school properly, being slapped by somebody I don't know whether they have gone to school, merely because they are a member of parliament. I want to tell you, rich people, I want to tell you, the powerful in this country, this is not sustainable. You are pushing people and they will come for you. You are courting a revolution. Na wakati katanuka, Mutakumbuka Manyora alituambia. The last thing you want to play with in society, the last thing you want to play with is law and order. That's why I felt bad when I saw we are creating a state in this country where people are facing the police, chasing the police, stoning the police. And I said, let's avoid this. Because the moment you remove law and order, social equilibrium, where the man in Kibra is willing to remain there as you sleep comfortably in Lavington, don't take that for granted. There is nothing special about you who lives in Karen, that man in Kibra can't live in Karen like you. They drive your cars, wash your children, cook for you. They handle grease in an industrial area that you may get the dollars. But don't you for a moment imagine people are stupid. Look at history. You enjoy those privileges because you create hope among the poor that tomorrow is another day. Today, I'm living in Mathare, but tomorrow my son will live in Lavington. You remove that hope from the people and they will come for you. Continue showing the people that a person who steals chicken will go to jail, as a person who steals $1 billion from poor people is laughing in a suit. You continue deluding yourself and thinking it is a vibe. It's not sustainable. Don't you lie to yourself. Don't you lie to yourself that you can live happily as a majority of people wallow in poverty and misery. And on top of that, you poke fingers into their nose. That you people, you are nothing, you are animals. We can do what we want. So you descend on a poor policeman because he has received a bribe, so-called a bribe, of 50 shillings. You humiliate them. You go to a police station because you are a minister, you shout in public that this OCS, because an OCS is an ordinary police officer. You think you have the power? Let me tell powerful people. Power is not only transient, it's a big illusion. Just when you think you have power, stop one day and ask yourself, just how much power do I have? I feel so pained that people in Eldoret are going through such a great suffering and pain. And as a society, we are not prepared to do anything. Not the leadership of this country, not any institution we have put in place. And we are laughing in our good suits, in our good cars, going to our good houses, with our children going to good schools. I want to finish by telling you this. The only way you can guarantee your stay in Runda, if you give people hope that there's a better tomorrow for them. And the only way you can ensure that the child who grew up in Lavington will continue living there, that your granddaughter will live in Lavington, is to ensure the policies you put in place, the things you do, leave this place a good place for your child tomorrow, for your grandchild next generation. Otherwise, if you take the poor for granted, ask yourself, and I've said this repeatedly, why are there so many? As Chinua Achebe has told us, if God didn't love them, he couldn't make them so many. I've also given you this graphic description. Look at Lavington. It's just next to Kawangware and Ngwaro. Look at Mathare. There's only a valley separating Muthaiga and Mathare. Look at Kibra with Karen and Langata. Look at Roresho, Kibarage slums. Look at Roresho, Kangemi slums. For every one of you, there are thousands of these people you are harassing and treating as if they were animals. I must finish by saying this. Let's not go into this court drama. Let the people who took money from these poor people in Eldoret, both for jobs abroad and for university trading abroad, let them just give these people their money. And let's make sure conmen are not allowed to roam this country, taking advantage of the poor and the misery of the poor to disenfranchise the poor and make them even poorer and push them into dying from depression. Let's ensure that doesn't happen in this country.